We're Canadians, right? We grew up with this stuff, right? That's right. So I want to bring someone that's on our side. I want to bring a very influential person too. You might have seen him at the Church of God also earlier today. Retired OPP, Vincent Gircys. Please come to the stage, sir. Please make some noise!
It's a real pleasure to see everybody here today. What a fantastic crowd.
Hi.
I want to welcome you here to week 59 of 2 weeks to
see the camera.
Flatten the Curve thing. Week 59. So I'm really here to speak to you about a few issues. One of them is uncovering the truth. That's why I'm here and that's why I'm involved. I first became involved at Adamson's Barbecue. I happened to have the privilege of being there and meeting Adam Skelly and trying to get some of his brisket, which I never got because the horses blocked me and the 250 officers blocked me from having brisket. I should have just gone to the Costco next door because it was opened and jam-packed. So what I saw that day at Adam Skelly's barbecue, and I think you've all seen the videos already, is that trust which we have in our law enforcement agencies was fractured. And I know that trust takes a long time to build in any relationship, whether it's between you and your spouse or some friend. Trust takes a long time to build, and it can be fractured very quickly. And in this case, it will take decades, and generations to fix the trust that has been breached. So the first thing I want to talk about is the part of the division that we're going through. Your number one enemy that I have found in my 32 years of investigative experience, and now passing on my forensic investigative experience into looking at what's going on around the world. Your number one enemy now is the media. The censorship is incredible. You are shut down immediately. There is no voice to the contrary. And if you've noticed, there is no debate. If we were to look back historically, we've always had debates on issues of conflict all the time, except now. We can't have that issue. And that problem with the censorship and the lack of debate leads to why some people think one way, because they just don't have access to the information that we have. But that information is readily available, perhaps not on a video format that somebody's put together, but if you go to the provincial government Ministry of Health, there's all kinds of wonderful information there. If you go to our federal agencies like Stats Canada, there's all kinds of information there. Yet our members of parliament and our members of provincial parliament fail to bring these issues forward. But we have a few heroes within our government that gives us hope. Roman Baber had come up with information that was supported by government statistical data, and he was demonized. And he wasn't allowed to speak, and he was kicked out of the caucus. Lucky for us here today, we have two fantastic heroes in our country that are going to speak to you on those issues. The other issue that we have a problem with, and I won't go into detail because you are all awake and you understand this, but a lot of our police officers don't understand this, is the political Trojan horse that has captured the narrative that is moving forward on top of the COVID issue. This issue we're dealing with that is putting us in lockdown, it is a political issue, it is not a health issue. Now, unfortunately, there's been a lot of harassment by police officers and our church groups and our protest groups, and we've seen a tremendous amount of civil violations against our population, and that's something that is uncalled for. I'm very, very proud of the Canadian anthem, and I believe you are all as well. We're all patriots here, and we love the words that we hear in the Canadian anthem. Unfortunately, I'm going to divide the police officers that we have now into two groups. And I have been in contact with quite a few officers that are completely against these lockdowns and these tyrannical mandates that have come out. And I will call them the free thinkers. They're able to think for themselves, use their investigative experience and say, I've seen the data, I do not believe in this information. And then we have the conformists, those that conform to what they are told to do, follow orders, and lay charges. I will tell you that there is one advantage to having a ticket. There is tremendous value in being the recipient of a ticket, because that ticket will contain a badge number on it. And don't ever forget it, because that individual is someone who is willing to breach your International Declaration of Rights, your Charter of Rights, your Bill of Rights. They're willing to do that. So we have police in two different categories, and I'm going to put it this way. Policing in Ontario and across Canada now is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, okay? So I find that officers who have been violating their oath, violating the Charter, violating the Police Services Act, I'm going to add one more item to that. They are violating the Canadian anthem. And this goes for the chiefs of police and all police officers. You need to ask yourself a question. If I'm violating my oath, I'm no longer a person of my word. If you don't stand on guard for thee, what do you stand for?
I told you we were going to have some great speakers. I told you we were going to tell you, get down to the nitty-gritty, didn't I? I told you this wasn't going to fall either, so thank you. Thank you for not making me look bad. So many great words that have